Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be talking about my favorite book from each month this year. Just batty, you know? So good, you guys, it's so good. I need you to understand. The slow burn. So I currently have 12 books on me. Let me just show you guys. Yeah. So it's currently December 6th, which means that we haven't actually gone through all of the reads that I'm going to read in December, but I need to like get this up for you guys in December, and so I can't really tell you guys what my favorite book in December is, but what I did is I just picked 2 of my favorite books from November, so then we still have 12 books to talk about, so it's still kind of like the 12 favorite books of the year, except December's kind of missing. But I cannot wait to tell you guys about all of these, because even just like looking at my Goodreads and looking at my bookshelves and finding these books and picking them up, I just got all of my nostalgic feelings after reading these books, because these books are some of my favorite books that I read in my entire lifetime. I got back into reading a lot of books actually this year, and so the fact that I've already found so many books and that there are so many more books out there that I can love just makes me so excited to read and to find these books that I'm going to absolutely devour. So let's talk about the books that I devoured this year and each month. Let's see if I can strategically. So this is my November, and my January is on the very bottom of this thing, so I want to like flip the stack so I can go in order. Books are heavy, guys. Books are freaking heavy. Okay, I think I did it. This is not a stable tower of books. It's gonna have to do. So I have my handy dandy phone so I can read you guys my Goodreads review, because usually when I rate something in 5 stars and it's like a 6-star read, I don't have any words, and I like to write my Goodreads review right after I finish so they get my thoughts right after, the people that follow me on Goodreads. And so when it's a 6 stars, I'm usually just like, and so I write some really funny reviews, like some 2-word reviews or whatever, and it's just, I really like reading them back, looking back. But some of these I actually wrote like an actual review for, so I can read those as well. But I also just want to talk about the vibes, the things that I loved about this book. So let's get started with my favorite book in January. My favorite book in January was Funny Story by Emily Henry. I read this book and I just instantly fell in love again with Emily Henry's writing. I didn't read all of her books in order of publication, because like I said, I just started consistently reading this year, or like a little bit before this year, and so I wasn't there when like all of her books were getting released like year by year, and so I just kind of picked it up in a random order. But I loved this book. So let's read my Goodreads review. I said loved everything about this. Only reason it's not 5 stars is because I got a little bit annoyed at our FMC by the end, but it's okay, she redeemed herself. So I actually didn't get any 5 stars in January, but this was my highest rated book, and it was a 4.75. I don't rate things in 0.25s anymore, so I think I would have just rated this a 5 stars if I had read it now. But I just loved this book. I loved the dynamic between our 2 characters, the way that they loved each other, the way that they showed each other that they cared. The entire dynamic was just very, very healthy, and I love reading about healthy relationships. But I also, when I look at this list, I realize that I also love reading about extremely unhealthy relationships. So I guess I just like a balance of both. I like the best of both worlds. So this book is essentially about Daphne and Miles, and Daphne is in a very serious relationship with her boyfriend Peter. They're engaged, her and Peter, and then he goes on his bachelor trip, I think that's what it calls, and when he comes back he's like, hey, so I actually can't marry you because I'm in love with my best friend. And guess what? That best friend was actually dating a guy, and that guy is Miles. And so because her fiance just broke up with her, she's like, okay, I have nowhere to live. So she moves in with Miles because Miles also just lost his roommate. And so that's kind of like how they meet. It's definitely not a meet cute. They're both like depressed when they meet each other. They're like depressed roommates because both of them just got dumped. And then they like heal together and they have so much fun together and they realize that they deserve better together. And it is the best. And I just love Emily Henry's writing. So good. Now we have my 5-star read of February. So my favorite book in February was A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. I have read so many fire books this year and I can't believe I read this in February. Like it feels like I read it like so much longer. So I don't know. It feels like I read this a long time ago, but I just read this in February and I loved this book. Okay, PSA, I hated Nesta for the whole series. Hated Nesta. I was dreading this book because I was like, I can't stand this girl. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read 750 pages of her. Excuse me? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. So I came in with a very like reluctant mind. The way this book had me in shambles. I loved seeing Nesta's growth, Nesta's character arc. She doesn't really change for the first half of the book. She's her annoying, rude self for the first half of the book. And you know what? I didn't really like it at the beginning, but then I grew to love her. Like, I grew to love her. I grew to love the way that she handles things. Why? Because you learn why. You learn why she deals with these things. You learn more about her backstory. And I'm just going to say this one thing. Climb the mountain. Climb the mountain. I'm sorry? Excuse me? Okay, let's read my Goodreads review. Wow. Just wow. The found family, the character development, the growth in Nesta, the quotes, question mark, question mark, question mark. So this was a 5-star read. If you guys don't know what this book is, which you probably do, this is the 5th book in the ACOTAR series where we're not following Feyre and Rhysand anymore. We are actually following her sister Nesta. And her sister Nesta was very much detached and the rude sister for the whole book, and this is her perspective and we learn why she's that way and why she acts in certain ways. Ugh. Just amazing. 5 stars. Next, we have my favorite book of March. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? I don't think we should be anymore. I have rated every single book except the first book in this series 5 stars. The way that this series has a grip on me, the way I feel like I know these people. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If you guys don't know what this is about, we are following a bunch of rich people in England, and there is so much drama, but there is so much love, and there is so much toxicity between them. But it's so good, you guys. It's so good. I need you to understand how good this series is. And yes, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Some people don't like toxic relationships, but also there's so much growth. There's so much growth. You need to trust me on this. Don't just read the first book and be like, these are terrible people. Just keep reading because anyways, let me show you. Let's read my review for that one. So like ... I'm sobbing? Question mark? What do you mean? I'm so unwell. I have so much love and so much pain for the characters. Oh my goodness. So that was my review for that one. This is the 3rd book in the Magnolia Park series. It's Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. So there's the first Magnolia Park book, the first Daisy book, and then this book. So I actually have annotated every single book in this series. There's underlines everywhere. There's hearts. There's paragraphs of me sobbing. There's, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. This is just so good. It's so good. It's so good. And yeah, just if you want to read about toxic people, but also that heal and that love each other. And I don't want to tell you guys what this is about because it's just like, There's so much more to the blurb. There's so much more to the blurb. Yeah. Yeah. Phenomenal. Next, we have my favorite book of April, Fearless by Lauren Roberts. Okay, I know people are gonna disagree with me on this. They're gonna be like, this book was so bad, what do you mean? Okay, I stand with my opinion. I giggled. I had a fun time. I love these characters. I love Kai, and the ending had my jaw dropped. Like, I wasn't trying to figure out anything too deep with this. I was just having fun, and I had so much fun, and this was my favorite read of April. Okay? Okay. This is Fearless. This is the third book in the Powerless trilogy. I love Kai. I just love Kai. I know that in every book he's the same. He says the same things, but guess what? I swoon every time. I swoon every time. So in this series we're following Kai and Peyton, and Peyton is like, she was a thief in the like poor quarters, and then she gets selected to participate in trials, which means that she has to go to the to the castle and compete in these trials. And then she meets Kai, who's the enforcer, because he's the king's enforcer, but he also is the king's son, so he's technically a prince. And then he has a brother named Kit, and it's this whole thing. It's this whole thing that we love, and we love these characters, and we love everything about the series. At least I know I do. I love this book. It was a perfect conclusion for me. The ending was maybe a little bit rushed, but you know what? I'm not gonna think too much into it. I had a great time. I was entertained, and I love Kai, and I will forever love Kai, and he will forever be on my book boyfriend list. So, yeah. Next, we have my favorite book of May, and this one is a favorite book for a lot of people. We have One Golden Summer by Cara Bastone. I love this book. I didn't actually read the first book in this series that's called This Summer Will Be Different? No, that's not it. Well, there's a first book in this series that follows the brother of our main male character, and I didn't read that. I just went in straight into this one, and I don't think it really bothered me. Like, I could tell there was a story behind some other things, but I wasn't really that bothered by it. I loved this book. This was the perfect book. Like, the perfect summer romance. If you want a summer romance, which I know it's December, but for next summer, or if you live in the hot months right now, highly, highly, highly recommend this book. It's so good. I just love the way that Cara Bastone describes settings and describes just like sitting on the beach or whatever. Every time I talk about this book, I read this one paragraph that I read when I was sitting by the pool, and it was, I think, one of the most vibey, atmospheric things that I've ever done in my life. Like, I just love the way Cara Bastone describes things. Yeah, her writing is just so smooth, so easy to read. Okay, I found the paragraph that I always read when I talk about this book. Even before I open the cover, it comes back to me. My first time away from home, my first taste of freedom, 2 months of waking to sunlight bouncing off the lake and rippling on the ceiling, diving off the dock, then swimming beneath the surface as far as I could, barbecues on the deck, permanently damp hair, art projects in the boathouse, red life jackets, canoe trips, picnics on the island, the harlequins I'd sneak from Joyce's stash, coconut sunscreen and watermelon slices, and my terry cloth bathing suit cover-up, the kids across the bay and their yellow speedboat. That just like, even though it's like, let me show you guys what it looks like outside for me. It's cloudy and gross, but just like reading that sentence brought me back to summer. It just brought me back to summer. Ultimate summer vibes, everything I could have asked for. 5 stars, 6 stars. This is my favorite, I think one of my favorite romances I've ever read. Like, I'm not even joking. And I didn't even tell you guys what this was about, but we're following Charlie and we are following Alice. And Alice's grandmother hurts herself, and so they go out to their lake cabin for the summer just so Alice's grandmother can rest and kind of recover in a pretty place and just have those vibes. And Alice hasn't gone back to this cabin since she was 17, and Alice was always a very, not insecure, but she's never felt like she belonged. She was kind of shy her whole life, and so she goes with her grandmother, and then she meets Charlie, who is the most extroverted, confident. He is so confident, but not in a cocky way. Like, yes, of course, it's gonna come off as cocky, but like straight away you see that it's not cocky. He's just like very confident, a very like fun guy to be around, and I just love their dynamic and the way that he helped her come out of her shell, and yeah, I just loved it. I loved it so much. Oh, I love this book. And just to read you guys my review on One Golden Summer. Wow, this was my favorite romance book I have read in a long time. Just truly amazing. Vibes, perfect. Main character, flawed and perfect, but that's what made her beautiful. Main male character, flawed, but also hilarious, kind, intelligent, intentional, and so, so, so kind. I know I already said that. I'm swooning. So, yeah, this was 5 stars. This was so good. And then we have my favorite read of June, which is a totally different vibe. It is not a summer book at all, but I read The Toll by Neil Shusterman, this absolute brick of a book, and I read this on my trip to Texas, and so I was just reading this in the car while we were just road tripping around Texas, and I had so much fun. I rated this 5 stars. This is the 3rd book, the final book in the Arc of a Scythe series. There's like a novella after this with a bunch of short stories, but this is like the conclusion of the Arc of a Scythe trilogy. I loved the entire trilogy. This trilogy was so good. I can't say enough things about how good this is. I just love Neil Shusterman's writing. I love how he connects everything that he writes about. I love that there is nothing that he puts in his book that is not there for a reason. He doesn't put any useless things in there. He always has a reason for doing the things that he does in his books, and the way that every single thing that you read about in the beginning connects at the end like a beautiful tapestry, and you see all of the connections. It's just, it is insane to me to think that a human author could have done that. Like, that is insane. That is so good. In this one, we're still following Citra and Rowan, but in the first book, so the first book in the Arc of a Scythe, it's called Scythe, following Citra and Rowan, and they are becoming scythes, or they are training to become scythes, and scythes are the people in charge of controlling the population on Earth, because Earth has figured out a way for humans to live forever, so people don't die anymore. But because people don't die anymore, that means there's going to be an overpopulation. Scythes are in charge of basically controlling the population and killing people. And so yeah, they're training for that, but it's a very conflicting job because they don't want to kill people, but also people need scythes. Like, the society needs scythes to survive. This is so good, you guys. This is so good. This is the 3rd book, so obviously the plot is extremely different from the first book. So many things happen, but it's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Then to read you guys once again my Goodreads review for The Toll, I said, yeah, this was one of the ones where I had no words. I said, wow, I think this was perfect. Actually, I know this was perfect. 5 stars. Next, we have my favorite read of July, which is none other than Crescent City House of Sky and Breath. This is the 2nd book in the Crescent City trilogy by Sarah J. Maas. This one is a urban fantasy with romance. Romance is definitely not the main point of this story, but there is a big part in it where we are following Rune and Bryce, and that's like our main couple, but then there are like a lot of other perspectives too, because we're also following like Bryce's brother, and we're following a bunch of other characters in the team, and then the high archangels, and then yeah, I love this world. This world is a bit complex to get into, but the first book is a really good introduction to understand the world. I thought the 2nd book was phenomenal, which is why it's my favorite book of July, obviously. But we are following the same characters. More perspectives are added in this book, and in the first book, it was kind of like a urban fantasy murder mystery kind of thing, and it's, of course, all of Sarah J. Maas's books are going to be absolutely amazing. I don't think I've ever disliked any of her books, but it's just so good. I'd never read a urban fantasy series before this one, and I just love everything about it. I love the way that we get to know our characters so well. I love the plot of the book. The plot is really, really interesting. It's very much the main focus of the book. Like, the plot is really, really in there, in your face. It's a bit complicated to understand at times, but it's worth it to put in the brain work. And then at the end, like I said, I love when authors connect all the dots, and Sarah J Maas and Neil Shusterman both are so good at connecting all the dots to create a beautiful tapestry. This was really good. This was phenomenal. Like I said, I keep saying phenomenal, but that's because these are just phenomenal books. Let me read you guys my review. I said, what was that ending? Unwell. Lots of world building, which is kind of boring sometimes, but that's okay. I love every single character so much. The world is so cool. I think the big thing about this series is the world is so cool. It's so cool. Like, it takes time to get used to it, but once you get used to it, you're like, wow, this universe is insane. The powers that they have, the way that Bryce just represents as a whole strong women. She's such a strong, confident, just baddie, you know? She's just amazing. I just love her. She's the best. I love Bryce. I love every single female main character that Sarah J Maas is gonna write. Every female character that she's gonna write, except the villains, obviously. But yeah, the characters are so good, the world is so cool, and the romance is really fun, and the plot is phenomenal. So highly recommend getting into this one. You have to be ready for a little bit of brain work though. Next we have my favorite read of August. It was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This is a really fun contemporary romance. I actually got this book when I was in Europe, and so it's the UK edition, I guess, and it's very small compared to my other paperbacks. Like, let me compare this. It's a very small paperback. This is like the normal paperback size, and I actually kind of like it. It's very like, it's a very sturdy, like it's not floppy at all, which I always hear in like vlogs, like people in the UK that I watch, they're like, oh, like our paperbacks are never floppy, but in the US it's like the norm for paperbacks to be floppy. Like this is a normal paperback in the US. Anyways, so this was so cute, so good, so heartwarming, but also kind of sad. A lot of people say when they read this book that it was very sad because just there are some very heavy topics discussed in this book. But I think because I watched all of those reviews before reading this, I came in with the knowledge that I was going to be sad, and so I wasn't surprised by the like emotional side of this book. I was expecting it, which is why I think I enjoyed it more than those people that were like surprised by the sadness. I just love this. This one we're following Xavier and Samantha, and they go on a first date because they meet. Xavier is a vet, and she like brings her dog to the vet, and they go on a first date right after, and they have the best first date ever. But then Samantha tells him that she's not going to be in the city, and so after one first date, they're supposed to be long distance. And it's just, that's like a very, very general, no spoiler, like literally I'm telling you nothing about this story because I want you to go into it blind. Like I say in all of my videos, I don't like giving too much like detailed reviews because I really love going to books blind, and I want you guys to go into books blind because that just makes it so much more enjoyable in my opinion. But yeah, so that's kind of like the premise. They meet, they love each other instantly. Well, not insta-love. It's definitely not insta-love. No insta-love at all. But it's just like they really like spending time with each other. They have extremely good chemistry first, right off the hook. And they're so cute. They're so cute together. I just love them. I just love them. I just had so much fun reading this book. And then my Goodreads review says, this was so good. I had such a good time. Crying face emoji. But also, this was really sad, but I feel like Abby Jimenez handled it really, really well. The ending was the sweetest thing I've ever read. And then I had like a little section for while I was reading. I wrote down notes of my thoughts, and I said, the way he constantly wants to protect her, I'm crying. Some weird dialogue, like Reese and Mid. I think she was trying to be very like up to date and like with the young kids or whatever with her dialogue to make it seem more like of the time, which was a little bit weird, but I just like let it go. I said, this is really sad, and the way they work together and just like handle each other and do life together is really beautiful. Like they mesh perfectly, Xavier and Samantha. They just work so well, and you can tell that it's one of the couples that are gonna stay together like for the rest of their lives, and I love them. They work so well, they mesh so well. They have such good chemistry. I had so much fun reading this. I was giggling, I was crying, it was so good. Next, we have my favorite book of September, which was... I'm sorry guys, I feel like I keep repeating myself. I'm not gonna say everything that I already said because I already talked about the Magnolia Park series, but this is the last book in Magnolia's story, and then there's, I think, one more book coming out of Daisy's story. I think maybe one. I don't know how many more, but this is the final one in Magnolia's point of view. Sobbed, and then what else did I do? Oh, I sobbed. I cried, and then I sobbed some more, and then I whimpered, and then I sobbed. So, yeah. I can't even tell you guys the emotional grip that this series has on me, these characters. This one hit me really, really hard because Magnolia was struggling with things that I have struggled with and was currently struggling with at the time that I was reading this, and so I was like, whoa, like, I feel so heard and seen, but also I feel so much pain because I feel exactly what she's feeling, and it's like, what the crap? I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. I can't cry. I can't cry on the internet, but I love this series. I love these people. Let me just read you guys my review because I have no words. I already rambled enough about this series in my, I think it was my fourth favorite book? My third favorite book of the year, my March book, but this is my review. 6 stars. I think this may have been the perfect book. I haven't had the lost in a book feeling for a while where you don't even think of looking up to see how much you have left or how long you've been reading, and this was the book that did it for me. These characters are perfect, not in a literal sense, definitely not, but because of how well you know them. I think I would have highlighted every sentence in this book if I could have, but I limited myself to basically one every page. Yeah, so I actually have so many annotations in this, it's insane. What I'm gonna do for fun is I'm gonna open up to a random page, and whatever is underlined, I'm gonna read it out of context for you guys. Unless it's a spoiler, of course, but let's see. Oh, it says BJ, he's in the middle of a conversation, and Magnolia's like, oh, shall we try it then? She gives me a gentle smile, tall eyebrows, another nod from me, then a shrug, like there's anything I wouldn't try with her anyway. Random page. I'm so unwell. I need to chill. I need to calm down. Okay, we're getting to the end of the year. Now we have October, Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh. The end of the year had some really tough emotional reads, very toxic reads, but also very healing reads. Redeeming 6 is Joey's story. It's the second book in Joey's story in the Boys of Tommen series. So Boys of Tommen is Binding 13, Keeping 13, Saving 6, Redeeming 6, and then Taming 7 and Redeeming 10? Redeeming 10, I think? No, not Redeeming 10. What is it? Releasing 10. I haven't read Releasing 10, but I've read every other book in this series. This series is painful. It's just pain. It's pain. If you guys watched my vlog, I read Redeeming 6 and Taming 7 in one vlog. That one is one of the craziest vlogs I've ever, like, posted on the internet because I was sobbing the whole time. It's very entertaining. I mean, it's very entertaining, but it's kind of humiliating for me, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, this was a read. This was definitely one for the books. This was my favorite book of October, maybe one of my favorite books of the entire year, maybe one of my favorite books that I've ever read. Yeah, I feel so much for these characters because they go through such hard things. We're basically following a bunch of people who live in Ireland, and they go through terrible things. They have terrible family situations, but all of these friends that go through terrible things all join together into the perfect little friend group. Definitely not perfect. Like, they are so flawed. They are so sometimes rude to each other, but they love each other so much and they care for each other so much. And there's always one person that's doing something weird, but it's just like no complaints. This is it hurts, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's terrible, and I have no complaints other than this scarred me for life and I will never be the same ever again because I read this book, but also in the best way possible. You know? This totally didn't make sense. This review didn't make sense, but you know, you're following people who are flawed, who go through terrible things, and you see them heal. And then break, and then heal again, and then break again, and then heal. So, read this! Anyways. Let's, oh yeah, I have to read you guys my review. I, like, keep forgetting, but that's a part of this video, Leela, so come on. I said, oh, it's not even that long. I said 6 stars. I have no words. So that just tells you how I felt after reading that. Anyways, then the last 2 books that I have are 2 of my favorite books that I read in November, just because, like I said in the beginning of this video, I haven't read all the books that I'm going to read in December, so I was just like, I'll just talk about my 2 favorite books of November. So those are Bound, which is actually in a reading vlog that is coming out tomorrow for me. It'll be out for you guys, like my latest reading vlog. This is me reading, I will be reading Bound in that one. So good. This is Fourth Wing, but with wolves. That's all I'm gonna say. Fourth Wing, but with wolves. Ah, the slow burn, the slow burn. And you guys are gonna be so confused when you're reading this because you're gonna be like, Leela, this is not slow burn. But you know. You'll know. When you know, you know. When you know, you'll know. Anyways, we're following Marin, and she goes into the military to find her sister who was kidnapped. I'm being very general because, like I said, and like I always say, go into this blind. Her sister was kidnapped. She wants to save it, so she goes to the front lines. But when she goes to the front lines, she finds out that there are these trials that she needs to go through to try and bond with a wolf. And if she doesn't bond with a wolf, she either dies or she fails or whatever. And I'm being very general once again, but very good. Fourth Wing, but with wolves. That's all I'm going to say. 5 stars, so good. This brought me back to loving fantasy. And my review on this was, what? Oh my gosh. This was so fun, all in caps. It's giving Fourth Wing, but with wolves, and a lot more plot twists. To be fair, I did guess almost every single plot twist much before they happened, but that did not take away from my enjoyment of this book, lol. I did guess every single plot twist. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I guessed every single thing that could have happened except one thing. But you know what? So worth it. So worth it. I did not enjoy because I guessed everything else. It's just a very standard romantasy that follows the same romantasy plot line, but also it's so fun. It's so fun, and I had a giggly fun time. If you're expecting like a phenomenal, like intricate world where it's all different, and it's not. It's not. It's just fun. It's just fun. And then the last book that I'm going to be talking about, another favorite book of November, was The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I was in a Jessa Hastings like mood because I finished all of her like Magnolia Park series, and so I was like, it's been so long since I've read one of her books, and so I really want to read one. And so then I picked this one up and I loved it so much. I loved it so much. I don't think there will ever be a Jessa Hastings book that I don't love. That's big statement, I know, but I believe it. I believe it with my whole heart. This was so good. The romance, so good, so healthy. They love each other so much, and it's such a healthy romance. There was no third act breakup. There was no third act breakup because they just loved each other, and they talked. The communication. This prime example of communication in books, and I loved it so much. I also really loved the family dynamics here. I didn't love the family dynamics, but I loved how they were talked about and written about, because it like brings you an insight into something that I've never experienced before, but also something that I have experienced before, because I am kind of in the environment that Georgia has experienced and is talking about, and it's really interesting to see which parts of her I like agree with and which parts I disagree with, but also how she's so open, but also how she's really protecting herself. And yeah, I want to read the blurb for you guys because I want you guys to know kind of what I mean by that. It says, London-based Georgia Carter, professional lie detector and body language savant, which that was so interesting to read about. Her job was so interesting and so cool, and that just made the books 10 times better. has long been estranged from her infuriating, close-minded, wealthy South Carolina family. After a falling out years ago, the chasm runs deep between the black sheep, Georgia, and her gay alcoholic brother, and their parents and the elder siblings. But when their father dies suddenly, Georgia returns to the States for the funeral, where she comes face to face with Sam Penny, her brother's AA sponsor. And amid the tensions, dramas, and revelations of the family reunion, Georgia and Sam are instantly drawn to each other. However, Georgia's brother also harbors feelings for Sam. The last thing Georgia wants is to hurt the only family she's ever really had. When their father's will reveals a surprising bequest to a mysterious stranger, Georgia's ability to read people becomes crucial in unraveling her father's hidden past. The delicate balance within the family teeters and secrets, both old and new, threaten to push them beyond the breaking point. There are only so many cracks a damaged family can take before it shatters. So this was phenomenal. It was so good. I loved hearing about the family dynamics and how they worked, how they talked to each other, how there are such infuriating characters, so infuriating. But you also learn to like love them and understand them for some reason. Like it's so weird because they're so infuriating, but you also learn why they do these things and you feel compassion for them, but you're like, but I don't want to feel compassion because they're so rude. And you learn about boundaries and you learn about communication and loving people even if they do weird things or things that are bad to you, or I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just really love this book and I really recommend it if you like family dynamics, really good communication in relationships, and the extremely cool job that she has where she reads body language, because you learn a lot about that in this book. Those are my 12 favorite books of the year that I had in each month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, got some good book rec. Let me know if you have any books that are similar to any of these books that I just talked about that you want me to read or that you think I should read that I'm going to enjoy. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you guys next week. Bye!